Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. I was telling you that Donald Trump is exporting Americanism around the world. We got started in that segment, last segment, and then I got carried away on Sun Tzu. If you read his books, what an amazing strategy guy. And it's very true. It's a general you'd go to fight for. And Trump's the same way. He's a general you'll go to fight for because he's going to give you a battle plan. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And he's clear. And so that's translating into things around the world that I don't think the world counted on. I'll give you an example. There was a German town, and new refugees are being turned away from this city. And it has to do with the violence between the migrants and what they're calling right-wing extremists. But it's just the people who say enough is enough. Officials in Cottbus, it's about, I don't know, from a miles perspective, let's say, roughly, 50 miles southeast of Berlin. They got a temporary ban after 2 male Syrian teenagers were arrested on suspicion of injuring a German teenager in the face with a knife. Just days earlier, a 15-year-old Syrian asylum seeker and his father were ordered to leave the city after he was allegedly involved in an assault along with 2 other Syrian youths aged 14 and 17. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen on our end with this immigration issue, illegal, refugees, etc. What's going to happen is America's going to say, if you're a refugee and you commit any crime at all, you're gone. If you're an illegal, a dreamer, whatever, if you've committed a crime, you're gone. And it's going to wipe out lots of them. And the left are going to complain. And Donald Trump's going to say, you're complaining about me removing criminals? Because that's what he's saying right now. ICE has amped it up. Let me ask you, do you think this city acted on its, I'm not going to say, certainly Trump didn't send a note by way of the Russians and tell them to do this. But do you think that they're maybe looking at Donald Trump, looking at what's going on in the world and saying, why can't we take this kind of a tougher stance? What is it that says that the country of Germany can make us change what we've built as a city or a city state? Who is it that can do this? Why should the federal government and all of its lunacy force this on us? Now, we could argue the 10th Amendment here in America, states' rights versus the federal government. Granted, California, you want to let HIV people infect each other and nobody consider it a crime. You want to charge people for air or whatever you decide. Let them smoke pot. Okay, if you want to be inside of your walls, there's not much we can do. But if you think that it's going to get outside of this, if you think that we're going to allow people to just come across the nation's border, bordering Mexico, you're wrong. If you think that your laws are going to supersede federal laws outside of California, you're wrong. That's why you have the federal FBI people. They wait to see where people are leaving Colorado to get them on drug trafficking, transporting contraband across state lines and things like this. Interstate Commerce Act. The Fed is here for a reason. It's here to oversee and make sure that the states don't do something stupid like slavery. And a good example is what California is doing now. It is putting its people in slavery. It's okay to shoplift up to $950 and it'd be a misdemeanor in California. Who comes up with this? Well, we're putting too many people away because, when there's $500 and it's a felony, it should be a felony if you steal something from somebody for $500. How much money does it take? How many hours does a store owner have to work to pay for that? How much shrinkage do you think a man can handle if people are stealing $500 from him with practically nothing, with a slap on the wrist? It's ridiculous. This city is looking at this problem and saying, you know what? If Donald Trump can do it, we need to take a tough stance. Now here's one that's even more interesting. This is Emmanuel Macron. And I jokingly said when Macron grows up, he wants to be Donald Trump. And the French people, when they grow up, they want to be Americans. And who can blame them? America has a true leader, and the world is watching Donald Trump. Oh, our media and even the international media would tell you, oh, Donald he's a pariah. Nobody likes Donald Trump. When he gets elected by 62% in 2020, they're still going to be telling you, he's the worst elected second-term president in the history of presidents. And look at the stooges they got touted to run against him. Elizabeth Warren, I'll talk about her later. They still got Bernie Sanders listed. They finally took Hillary Clinton off. But they got Cory Booker. They got Kamala Harris. And they got one other stooge. I forget who it was. But I saw 5 people. Not a single one of those 5 is a viable candidate. They're going to get their butts kicked. They're going to get their clocks cleaned. And it's going to be all over the issues of exactly what we're talking about today. But you know what's not going to work? The spin. But Macron, he sent shockwaves through the media. Let's play that clip of Macron.
In France had a referendum. It might have had the same result.
Yeah, probably. In a similar context, but our context was very different. So I don't want to make any. I mean, to take any bet, but I would have definitely fought very hard to win. But I think it's a mistake when you just ask yes or no, when you don't ask people how to improve the situation and to explain how to improve.
That interview, welcome back everybody, Kevin Jackson here, it's Kevin Jackson Show. That interview sent shockwaves, as they say, through Europe. What that was is Macron, who conceded that French voters would quit the EU if France held an in or out referendum on, and they're part of the Brussels bloc. If they said, do you want to be part of this nonsense or not? Macron is saying, I think they would have voted out. They would have Brexited. So what France is saying, without saying it, is that we don't want to be a part of it either, but I would be fighting for us to stay. I would fight for us to stay, but I believe I could win. And he's also saying, you don't judge it the way you might judge it. He's giving you all kinds of platitudes, but the fact is, he believes in his heart, if you let the French vote, they'd vote themselves out. And you want to know why? Because they're sick of the Muslims. Because they're sick of progressivism. The majority of those people are tired of this nonsense. And the reason that he even said that was because he was talking, he understands the impact that America is having on this. And let me tell you, folks, if you think for 1 second that this is done, that like this is some temporary thing, this is going to get worse and worse for the socialist nations. And here's why. They're going to watch Donald Trump go, why am I going to get in a trade group with a bunch of losers when I can trade on my own? And they're going to watch America's trade flourish. They're going to, every aspect of their lifestyle that they've set up under socialism, Donald Trump will challenge. Why? If I lower my tax rate to what they have, do you think the companies would rather do business in France where they sell 3% of their product, or Germany where they sell 4%, or wherever in Europe where the total that they sell, the total possibility is less than the GDP of America? Or do you think they'd rather be closer to their clients? You think about it. You got to ship product. You got a market that's a quarter of the market and growing. It'll be 30% of the world's GDP if Trump does everything he's going to do. We're at roughly 30%. I'm not going to say it's a third because that's adding another 3%. But 30% of the world market, and you can build a factory, forget shipping cost, and just start utilizing all the things right there in America to build your product, forego tariffs, and now as a corporation you can get more profit out of it. I'm there. I'm right there. Same thing happened in China, by the way, where I was part of that boom. I was over there. People, company after company just saying, we're going to let the Chinese manufacture. They're good at it. It's cheap labor. But now you got to ship it back. So then Dell got smart and said, hey, we'll do they call nearshore sourcing right near our facility. So they started assembling right here in America, and they revolutionized the PC business. And Dell was the top dog for a long time. May very well still be. I don't keep up with it anymore. Innovation. That's what Trump inspires in companies, and that's what they're hoping to bring back to our shores.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177, or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.